Hey everybody, Madeline here to talk about this week's astrology and a heads up about this weekend because it is challenging astrology and it is important to be cautious and aware, and I'll explain. Basically, we have a building square between Chiron and Mars, which is accidents and injuries waiting to happen. And so currently Mars is at 19 degrees Cancer, building a square to Chiron in Aries, 21 degrees, which will exact and perfect when the moon comes into Capricorn here on Sunday at 21 degrees of Capricorn. So it forms a grand T square. And this is a volatile energy because Mars, the moon is debilitated in Capricorn, Mars is debilitated in Cancer, and is forming a square to Chiron, which can be accidents and injuries. Now, this is the third time this happened. This happened before. The last time it happened was February 1st. Mars was in retrograde, which would have been worse. And again, Chiron Mars is accidents and injuries. So what happens? How does that work? Well, when Mars is in debilitation, it's emotional, it's vulnerable, it can lose its temper really easily, it's very triggery. Um, and we've been working on this because so this is the third pass, right? When Mars went into Mars is direct, it already had a square to Chiron. That was around November. Then it went retrograde, made a square to Chiron again in February, early February. Then it was in retrograde. Then it went direct again, and now it's forming a square to Chiron again here on the building exact on the 23rd, right? So that's the third time. And often the third time we have mastered it, we have learned this lesson, but we are going to be challenged with that opposition. Oppositions often create conflict, but these are opportunities for healing. Now, in the collective, opportunities for facing issues that are repeat, which we can now, on this third pass around, master our lashing out or emotional, short of triggered responses to more feeling empowered because Chiron is making a square to this, which is trying to help us heal into our empowered versions of ourselves. And so these issues show up where we are weak, where we aren't so in our power. But in the third time around, I'm thinking we're going to be lucky. But it is important to be careful in the collective because this is volatile energy in the public. There could be violence, there could be war, tension, um, government, and but what Mars is trining Saturn, so that's actually quite positive. I think this is I'm gonna predict that this plays out okay, but we want to be cautious and aware in our environments because this could be in the collective a tough situation. And it's probably best for people to stay home during this weekend. If you do have to travel and you have plans to travel, just stay cautious and aware. And but how this really plays is that when Mars is in debilitation like this, there could be an emotional trigger or upset that causes us to leave our body or to not be present or to be reactive where we get aggressive and we cause an accident and then an injury or we're not paying attention because we're emotionally upset and we get an accident which causes an injury. So these are times this weekend is something to be very cautious about. But the most important thing is to be calm because you can get in an accident at home too. And water, Mars is water. So slipping on water. Um, so, and the moon is our subconscious stuff coming up, you know. So the best thing to do this weekend with these energies is to meditate and stay in our center and to be present and to master our emotional responses so that we've learned how to be in our sovereign power around these issues, because what happens is that's how we heal. You heal through the changing you heal through the situation by changing the way we normally respond. And then that's when the change happens. You can't really change unless the situation shows up again that shows your response to it is now different. And now when your response to it is different, it shows you've changed, which then shows you've healed. And then these situations just dissolve out of our lives. So, all right, take it easy, stay safe. Namaste.